Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's been a while. We started an episode last week, and I felt we should continue today. And the topic we are handling is toxic in-law. When we talk about in-law, we cannot do without them. They're important in the family. They are part of the family that we find ourselves in. They are the people that your husband is related with over the time. They are related with people that never, whether you like it or not, there are people in the family that are used to you. They are just part of your husband, part of your life. Before you met the man or the woman, now we're not talking about gender here, we're talking about both in-laws that stems from the husband's side or from the wife's side. So we need to understand that these people, they've been together for a very long time. They've managed their excesses, they've managed their vices and their virtues. They've done so much with each other that having to have a stranger, quote and unquote, in the family could become an issue if one is not careful. You could be estranged if you are not careful. You could be having issues that at the end of the day might allow you to begin to doubt the love that your husband has for you or your wife has for you because of the involvement of your in-laws. So we're looking at toxic in-law the other time, and we said a lot of things. If you miss any of the episodes, please follow me on my YouTube channel. You find it there. My handle is funkeadetuberu, or you go back to Instagram. Very shortly, we're going to be taking in old episodes on YouTube, so you can just go there and watch and like, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. This evening we are going to look at certain things that makes our in-law or our relationship toxic with our in-laws. Number one, we need to understand the people we are relating with. Now, I said people because we are different people, we are different human beings, we have different personality, we have different way we think, the way we reason, we see things from different perspective, we see in the light of so many things that are not the same, and we need to get to understand that, take it or leave it, because we are not wired differently, we have different upbringing, different exposure, different backgrounds. It affects us when we are relating with ourselves, not just in-laws. It affects our relationships, even siblings. I've seen brothers and sisters and brothers to brother that they don't really get along because of their different way of seeing things. Personality differs, they are not seeing things from the same perspective, and yet they have to grow in the same family. Fortunately, some of them actually grew up in a healthy family despite their differences, their weaknesses. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening. We're going to have a good time. Please take your heart into this and follow with all of your heart, because it's extremely important for people to take note of some of these things that becomes a major issue. They are like little foxes that destroys the vine. They are little things. If they are not carefully handled, it can become a permanent strain, can become a permanent scar in a relationship that is extremely important. Because whether you like it or not, there's an adage that says that you can marry a woman from a bad woman, but it's going to be terrible if you marry you have a bad in-law. Meaning that even if a person you are married to is not good enough, if he has good people around him, good in-laws, people that can talk sense to the person, they can easily learn one or two wisdom if they choose to listen. I've seen people that even when they advise them, they don't want to listen. There's nothing you can do about it. Honestly, life is a choice, and life is essentially a personal adventure. And because life is a choice, whatever decisions, whatever choices we make in this life, we'll definitely see the results and see the consequences of our choices and decisions. So we should not let that bother us. But if you have a good family and they are teaching you wisdom and values, and you take it to heart, you are going to really enjoy the beauty of relationship. I'm passionate about relationship because even from the womb to the tomb, like I said, you relate. There was a man that was healed a man of Gadarene, he had legions of demons. Do you know that when he was healed, Jesus said, go and tell your friends? I mean, I was wondering, where do you want a mad person to have a friend? It means that there are people that still relate with you at your lowest level, at your basest level. So we cannot afford not to relate. Now, talking about in-laws, I said a lot of things about, mother-in-law the other time, father-in-law, that our background, wherever they're coming from, their upbringing, whatever life has thrown at them. If your husband is the only son, if your husband is is the only child, or the only son and the only child, there are two different things. Or your husband is, the kind of a person that has been ill, and your mother had to go all the way to make him to survive, or the husband died, or she just had her outside wedlock, and she had to be the only one that nurtured that boy all the days of her life, till he finally brought a woman to come and marry. When you get into such a system, the competition is extremely high. Why? Because she has been her son's wife, I'm quoting that word now, for a very long time. So if at the end of the day you now discover that another lady is just coming in to take her place, if you're not careful and you don't know how to manage it properly, you will just find out that the lady, your mother-in-law, will become touchy and edgy, because she's seeing you as a competitor. She's not seeing you as an addition. She's not seeing you as a compliment. She's seeing you as a threat that comes to take her son away from her. So you need to understand the dynamics of your family system, or the family you are getting married into. And I told men, I said, it's better for you, if you're a guy, you are listening to me, try and explain everyone, the nature, the character, the attitude of all your siblings to your spouse. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's been a while. We started an episode last week, and I felt we should continue today. And the topic we are handling is toxic in-law. When we talk about in-law, we cannot do without them. They're important in the family. They are part of the family that we find ourselves in. They are the people that your husband is related with over the time. They are related with people that never, whether you like it or not, there are people in the family that are used to you. They are just part of your husband, part of your life. Before you met the man or the woman, now we're not talking about gender here, we're talking about both in-laws, that stems from the husband's side or from the wife's side. So we need to understand that these people, they've been together for a very long time. They've managed their excesses, they've managed their vices and their virtues. They've done so much with each other that having to have a stranger, quote and unquote, in the family could become an issue if one is not careful. You could be estranged if you are not careful. You could be having issues that at the end of the day might allow you to begin to doubt the love that your husband has for you or your wife has for you, because of the involvement of your in-laws. So we're looking at toxic in-law the other time, and we said a lot of things. If you miss any of the episodes, please follow me on my YouTube channel. You find it there. My handle is funkeadetuberu, or you go back to Instagram. Very shortly, we're going to be taking in old episodes on YouTube, so you can just go there and watch and like, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. This evening we are going to look at certain things that makes our in-law or our relationship toxic with our in-laws. Number one, we need to understand the people we are relating with. Now, I said people because we are different people, we are different human beings, we have different personality, we have different way we think, the way we reason, we see things from different perspective, we see in the light of so many things that are not the same, and we need to get to understand that, take it or leave it, because we are not wired differently, we have different upbringing, different exposure, different backgrounds. It affects us. when we are relating with ourselves, not just in-laws. It affects our relationships, even siblings. I've seen brothers and sisters and brothers to brother that they don't really get along because of their different way of seeing things. Personality differs, they are not seeing things from the same perspective, and yet they have to grow in the same family. Fortunately, some of them actually grew up in a healthy family despite their differences, their weaknesses. Welcome everybody, thank you for joining me this evening. We're going to have a good time. Please take your heart into this and follow with all of your heart, because it's extremely important for people to take note of some of these things that becomes a major issue. They are like little foxes that destroys the vine. They are little things. If they are not carefully handled, it can become a permanent strain, can become a permanent scar in a relationship that is extremely important. Because whether you like it or not, there's an adage that says that you can marry a woman from a bad woman, but it's going to be terrible if you marry you have a bad in-law. Meaning that even if a person you are married to is not good enough, if he has good people around him, good in-laws, people that can talk sense to the person, they can easily learn one or two wisdom if they choose to listen. I've seen people that even when they advise them, they don't want to listen. There's nothing you can do about it. Honestly, life is a choice, and life is essentially a personal adventure. And because life is a choice, whatever decisions, whatever choices we make in this life, we'll definitely see the results and see the consequences of our choices and decisions. So we should not let that bother us. But if you have a good family and they are teaching you wisdom and values, and you take it to heart, you are going to really enjoy the beauty of relationship. I'm passionate about relationship because even from the womb to the tomb, like I said, you relate. There was a man that was healed, a man of Gadarene. He had legions of demons. Do you know that when he was healed, Jesus said, go and tell your friends? I mean, I was wondering, where do you want a mad person to have a friend? It means that there are people that still relate with you at your lowest level, at your basest level. So we cannot afford not to relate. Now, talking about in-laws, I said a lot of things about, mother-in-law the other time, father-in-law, that our background, wherever they're coming from, their upbringing, whatever life has thrown at them. If your husband is the only son, if your husband is is the only child, or the only son and the only child, they are two different things. Or your husband is, the kind of a person that has been ill, and your mother had to go all the way to make him to survive, or the husband died, or she just had her outside wedlock, and she had to be the only one that nurtured that boy all the days of her life, till he finally brought a woman to come and marry. When you get into such a system, the competition is extremely high. Why? Because she has been her son's wife, I'm quoting that word now, for a very long time. So if at the end of the day you now discover that another lady is just coming in to take her place, if you're not careful and you don't know how to manage it properly, you will just find out that the lady, your mother-in-law, will become touchy and edgy, because she's seeing you as a competitor. She's not seeing you as an addition. She's not seeing you as a compliment. She's seeing you as a threat that comes to take her son away from her. So you need to understand the dynamics of your family system, or the family you are getting married into. And I told men, I said, it's better for you, if you're a guy, you are listening to me, try and explain everyone, the nature, the character, the attitude of all your siblings to your spouse is extremely important. Because if you do that, it's going to prepare her mind on how she will relate with them. She will talk to them. The light in which she will see them, she will be able to relate with them in the light of the truth you have shared with her or with him. It is vice versa. It's not one-sided. Please don't take it as if I'm talking to female or male alone. I'm connecting it. In-law issues and all of that, it's not gender based. We have guys that have serious with their in-laws, serious issue with their in-law. I have a particular case that the son-in-law had to beat her mother-in-law that is out of order. I'm still going to talk about that later. Now, one thing that will help you to avoid toxic in-law is to understand who they are. We are different. We have the boss. I'm going to be talking a little bit about our personality type. Some people are very strong-willed. They are boss. They are bossy by traits. They are bosses, by personality. They are strong-willed. They are people that, as a matter of fact, some of you don't even know that some of the things you fight in your in-laws are the things that made them to become who they are, to raise your children, your husband or your wife the way he or she is being raised. When you look at, oh, my mother-in-law is too tough, she's hard, this and that. Now, it's not bad. There's no personality that is bad. Please get it straight. There's no temperament that is bad. There's no personality that is bad. Work on your weaknesses and build your strength. Please note that. If you want to help me to write anything there, maybe you are watching on Instagram or Facebook, you can help me to, let's share this together tonight. Let's share together. You can always add your own, help me to pinpoint some of these things I'm saying, and you can actually pin it down. Now, it could be that the person in question you are married to is a strong personality person, a strong-willed woman, a woman or a man that will just be. I've seen men that have lost their wives, lost their husbands, and they just told themselves, no, I'm not going to marry again. I'm going to take care of my children. I'm going to go all the way. I will pay the bills, do everything, send them abroad, do everything. Why? Because that's their trait. Now, it's the same trait that she might or he might bring into your relationship that will become an issue at the end of the day. There's nobody that is perfect. We work on our weaknesses and we build our strength. If you are hearing me and you're a mother-in-law, you're a father-in-law, can you just deal with the excesses and deal with some of these things that is going to be causing you pain at the end of the day? And life is basically a choice. I used to say that a lot. I'm passionate about knowing fully well that life is a choice. You make your choice makes you. You can choose to be a very good son-in-law, daughter-in-law. You can choose to be a good mother-in-law, father-in-law. It's a choice. But whatever decision we make, whatever the choice we've made, at the end of the day, we'll get the result. It's not really bad. When we are trying to avoid somebody not being nice or being nasty, it's not a problem. Not too long. Life is a circle. At the end of the day, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest will not cease. So everyone hearing me today, please be seed conscious. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap it. Now, let's start from personality. Like I said, we have some people that are strong-willed. It is their will that is strong that made them to be able to nurture your husband, your wife, in a way that they refuse to bend their rules. They set their standards. Their boundaries were tight when they were raising those children. And today you could have a husband that is focused and is determined and is an achiever. Is a strength in the life of the parents, in-law, as it were. They are your in-laws, but that was what made them to be who they are. You need to have this understanding. It's going to reduce pain. It's going to reduce pressure. It's going to give you the spirit of knowledge and understanding to be able to know why they are doing what they are doing. You need to understand that. The moment you're able to understand, oh, okay, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, okay, it is a strong will. It was as will like that, like that of an iron that made her to achieve and made my husband, made my wife be who they are today. It will give you understanding. It will help you to know how to manage that. And I will still teach you. Today is going to be awesome. Please, can you share with your friends? Share. Tell your friends to join me on Facebook, funkeadetuberu. Only funkeadetuberu is my Facebook handle. Instagram is funkeadetuberu. You can always, share it around. Please, can you share so we can really take all we can today. I might not do this one the third time if I'm able to catch up with everything I have on the inside of me today. Now, that is a strong-willed mother or a father-in-law. What about the pessimist, the detailed, the thorough, the ones that, when you say anything, they think about it, they analyze it, and a lot of the time, too much of analysis can actually lead to paralysis. They dot the I's for you and cross the T's. They mind everything you say. They watch your word. Not only watching your word, because of their sensitive personality. They watch your actions, your attitude, what you don't mean. They help you to analyze it, and they read meanings to your actions and your reactions. Now, it's a personality that has strength and has weakness, and this personality has been the thing that has helped them to nurture your wife or your husband to marry as a virgin, because they are very sensitive, and making it broad. You can fix your own puzzle. You can get whatever you think you're going through in your in-laws life to fix this thing. You will understand that this woman, this mother-in-law, this father-in-law that you are thinking or you are, perceiving as being oversensitive, has been over touchy, has been over finicky. It's just someone that has been like that over the years, that has helped him or her to raise your husband or her children, let me put it that way, her children in a way that today they have become something. Now, we are not saying that if that trait is 100% good, but there's no temperament that is bad. You work on your weaknesses and build your strength. The strength of that woman might, I'm talking about the detailed one, the strength of that woman is so good that the children will be thorough, their own works will not go undone, things will be attended to, but they might raise children that are not really confident. That's another thing. I don't want to go deep into that. And that's why I encourage people. The Men College of Ministry, we are resuming on the 2nd of July 2022. If you are a man, you are listening to me today, you need to purge your family tree. You need to understand the dynamics of this tree of the family to help you to address some certain issues so as not to pass the baton to the next generation. Now, coming back to, I've talked about the strong-willed, I've talked about the detailed. Now we're looking at the outgoing. We have the outgoing. The outgoing type is, he says it as he sees it. He doesn't check what she says or he says. He's just blah blah blah, and just cut everybody to their sizes. What is wrong with you? Are you okay? Abuse you. Now the point is, this thing has made the kids come out bubbling over, has pushed them to arrive and achieve. Because if you have a mother or a father that is extroverted in nature, he can push the children, he can tell them you can do it, you have what it takes. He can also use mouth to destroy the children. No, you need to understand what I'm saying. But to a greater extent, the lifestyle, the personality of that mother, that father, has really helped the children to have self-worth, self-belief. You can do it. Those that are doing it, do they have 10 heads? Her mouth, his mouth. There's nothing he cannot say. Thank you for joining. There's nothing he cannot say. He will talk and talk and talk and talk. But honestly, those people, when they say things, they don't really mean them. Now, we need to balance here. If you have a temperament that does not think before you talk, you need to do something about it, because you are destroying someone somewhere. You are breaking someone somewhere. You are making statements that it's going to affect the person that you are talking to, that can even make the person to feel suicidal, to go and die, So it's not, you shouldn't say that. I'll say it now. The way I've said it, I've said it. It doesn't really matter. If you are the kind of a person that speaks like that, you're going to destroy what you have used your life to build, because your children are not the same with you. Your in-laws are not the same with you. By the time you continue with that attitude, and you are not cautious of what you say and how you behave, you are going to lose at the end of the day. Now, that's another one. I've talked about the strong one, strong personality. I've talked about the detailed, the thorough. Then we are talking about the flag, the ones that they are very, very slow. They mind their businesses. They are just there. Those are the ones, the flag. You will notice when they are parenting their kids, they might not give attention to those details, and it can affect some major part of their lives, the lives of the children, like doing house chores, cleaning, being neat, not opening your mouth, things that you would. Let me digress here. If you have a kid that is always opening her mouth, please do everything to close that mouth, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect his dentistry. It's going to make his teeth or her teeth to look funny. So whatever you can do to help that child, be intentional about it, tell him to close his mouth, motivate him to close his mouth, because at the end of the day, the child is not going to look very, very handsome or beautiful. So please do something. I just said that on the side. Thank you, thank you. Yes, so Men College of Ministry, we are resuming on the 2nd of July by the grace of God. Thank you, thank you. I'm doing it. The pressure has been so much on me to do Men's School of Ministry. The first one we did, I was given an award. Can I have the award? Let me show you the award that my men gave to me. It's somewhere around in this office. Yes, I got it. This was the award the men gave to me. The first set of the Men College of Ministry. For me to have this with men, it means that, something, the set of the Men College of Ministry was amazing. The set of the men was amazing. So please send me a DM to register for the Men College of Ministry. We're going to start doing the promo, and it's going to be powerful. Now, I was talking about the thorough, the ones that are just maybe slow, like a decical. They are not really, they won't even flog. They won't confront. They will allow a lot of weaknesses to slide. Now, but in all honesty, they can help a child to be so great because of their tenacity, because of their determination. They keep the children's life clean in a way that whatever they choose to do, the mother with the phlegmatic trait, the parents will help that child to become what he sees or she sees as a potential in the life of that child. Now, showing you all of this, it tells you that there's no personality that is bad. The only thing is we work on our weaknesses and build our strength. I said it before. I'm flogging it again because I'm dealing with toxic in-law. Most of the time, when you're an in-law, you look into those weaknesses and you see it as a major problem. Why is my mother-in-law talking? Why is my father-in-law talking? She talks too much. Why is my mother-in-law just want to see everything, control everything? She wants to do everything. She wants to take over. She wants to take over my life and take over my home. Blah 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 blah. What is it that honestly you can't even say anything? Anything you say, she will read meaning to it. She analyzes everything until she's paralyzed. So many things. Why is she not dynamic? I've talked about 4 personality type now. Why is she not dynamic? Why is she not? Can't she see that this thing is not right? Wow, that's who she is. Now, when you understand, there's no one temperament that is the same. When you come for the School of Ministry, we teach this in detail. We have professionals that handles that in a School of Ministry. Now, apart from personality, we now speak different love languages. I'm going to break it down in the content of in-laws today. Please listen to me with all of your heart. Please help me to share this. This is important. If you can get this truth, it will set you free. You don't have to see every issue that is going on with your in-laws as a major problem that will give you stress, make you feel depressed, make you feel uncomfortable. Before you know it, you are straining your home, and your husband or your wife may not find it easy coping with you in a relationship that is toxic. In just few minutes, all you need to know is this person. Okay, this is who my mother-in-law is. Okay, this is who my father-in-law is. And you are good to fly. Let me give you an example. We speak there are few words, there are few things that speaks love to us. When you do that to that person, the person feel loved, feel wanted, feel appreciated, feel validated, and feel important. Some is what you say to them. The words affect them. If you want to destroy your in-law, that words get to, say something that is out of order. Talk to them anyhow. Insult them. Badmouth them. Say something to them at the back that they will later hear. Words get to them. Tell your husband, I hate your mom. I don't like what your mom is doing. And your husband will come and say, Mommy, my wife said she doesn't like you. Why are you doing that? It takes a matured mother-in-law to hear what to say about her. Because she does not want to destroy your home, she's going to give you your break, an arm's length. Even if she doesn't want to do it. You know why? Because those words got to her. And don't forget the personality. Now, if that person that is being seen, if your mother-in-law, your father-in-law that is being seen as a bad person has good intention, that's trouble. That's trouble. So when you know those ones that words get to, you must bite your tongue before you say anything to them, about them, at the back or in their front, because if they hear it, you have built a gulf. There's a wall. Now, it's not that there will be no relationship, but that person will know where she is. Your father-in-law, your mother-in-law will know where she is in your life, and that will be it. So I'm talking about when what speaks love to her is words, and you are washing her with words, you are saying things to her, you are allowing your words to get to him. Don't forget, we are not talking about mother-in-law alone. We are making it, husband and wife and all of that. Now, what speaks love is words. You must mind your words. Now, let me now give you the secret of the positive one. Say good things about her. Validate her. Say things in her present. Tell her her achievements. Just look for praiseworthy qualities in her and verbalize it. Now, if you tell me, oh, I don't know how to talk, I cannot talk, you're going to have problems in your marriage with your in-laws. Do you know, if you just study everybody, your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your husband's nieces and cousins, and you have that understanding alone, you are free to fly. In that home, you'll be the favorite in-law. Now, you can be in a family and have 5 or 6 of them. That maybe your mother had 5 boys, or your husband had 5 boys. One will be the favorite. Why? Because he's doing what speaks love to the person. Don't say, I don't care, I don't have to have a favorite. Wow. They can choose their favorite. Wow. You're going to destroy your children, because you are going to make that relationship toxic between you and your mother-in-law and your father-in-law, and your children will not have access to them, and it's going to be a seed that you are sowing to their future. Like a case I'm handling now, extremely toxic. The mother never allowed the children to see their in-laws. They believe they are fetish, they are demonic, blah blah blah. I'm not contending that, don't get me wrong. Different stroke for different folks, honestly. That's why we don't judge people, because you cannot judge me if you don't understand what I've been through and my experiences. So I need to balance that. In all honesty, the woman did not allow her children to do anything with the father's side. Cut everybody off. Now, the daughter is married, and the same thing, she's cutting off the in-laws in the name of, I don't even know. Now, sometimes, that's why I believe so much in demonology. I believe so much in negative pattern. I believe so much in ancestral pattern or ancestral spirit. If one is not careful, what your mother did to the in-laws, you are likely to do it. It's like, having diabetics in the family. I said that a lot, when I do the school of ministry. If everybody fries, everybody eats sugar, it's not, and the first generation, second generation, they have diabetics, and you're wondering, what is it? It's not a spirit. It's just that there's a pattern of a lifestyle you guys have led. Maybe you're the kind of thing that you must fry egg, fry chicken, fry, and now you are married. Or take sugar, beans, sugar, yam, sugar. A lot of sugar is in the bloodline pattern of your lifestyle. Now, before you know it, you hand the baton over to your children. Your children are used to fries. I'm talking about diabetes and obesity. Then your other children, your grandchildren, before you know it, everybody takes that pattern. And the moment everybody takes that pattern, it becomes the pattern of the bloodline. And that's why when you go to the hospital, they ask you a question. They will say, is there any diabetes in the family? You say no. Maybe your grand or great grandfather had it, but they never told you, or they never went to the hospital to get to have the diagnosis of such a a bloodline affliction. Let me put it that way. So sometimes you have to be careful. Now, if you are not careful, you pass the baton over to the next generation, and in all honesty, your new in-laws or the in-laws that you are having may not even be like your own grandparents, your own daddy's mommy or daddy's daddy, but because of that it has become a genetic thing. So you have to be careful if that is the case. Wisdom is the ability to separate issues. Wisdom is the ability to know difference. Wisdom is the ability to separate issues, and wisdom is the ability to know the difference. If you don't learn to separate issues and know the difference, you are going to just be, hitting everybody, and you will not get the best out of life. And I really want you to have the best of life. Now, I've talked about words. If what speaks love to your in-law, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, and you keep lashing them with words, it's going to become a toxic one. Then secondly, if it's what speaks love to them is act of service. Now, let me go back a little bit. If what speaks love to them is words, you have to learn to look for praiseworthy qualities and speak words that are good to them, words of affirmation. Affirm them, tell them, well done, you are beautiful, you look good, I like your dress. You have to learn to speak words that will make them feel good around you. If what gets to them is words and you don't say it, you don't do it, you create a gulf. It also happens in marriage. If you are married to a man or a woman that words get to, and you keep tongue lashing the person, you keep saying things, you're going to have the relationship can break. I've seen people that are divorced today because the man cannot talk good of his wife, vice versa. The wife actually said, man, if this man is cutting me with knife, I would prefer to go to the hospital and suture it than the words he's saying to me. I feel suicidal with those words. So it's not just your in-laws, it's just a principle that guides relationship. Now let us assume that what speaks love to her is care, say good things, tell her she's beautiful, she's intelligent, tell her well done, appreciate all her efforts. Oh my God, you are good to fly. Now, even if your own love land has what speaks love to you is not words, because you want to keep a relationship, you don't want it toxic, you do everything to make sure that you do it for the person you love. Your husband, your children speak something like this too. Your children have what speaks love to them also. It's not only your in-law. I'm just relating it to in-laws. Now let's assume that the next one that speaks love to your in-law is act of service. And let's say you're a banker, you're a professional, you are busy. And what is act of service? Come and help me to do chores. Help me to go to market. Help me to wash clothes. Help me to buy something. Help. Maybe that is what speaks love to your in-law. Now, if you don't want that relationship to be so toxic, you have to do everything to make sure that you speak what speaks love to her or him. Now, how do I handle that? You can't come to the house and wash plates. You can't do chores for her at home. But you can send someone to do it. You can pay someone to help her to do things, because your mother-in-law, if you understand this, honestly, you won't have problems. You will hear your mother-in-law or your father-in-law say, it's my daughter-in-law that told this person to come and clean for me. It's my daughter-in-law that told this person to come and wash for me. Simple. You are good to go. You may not be able to do it, but you have to speak that love to her, to have peace in that home. You have to speak that love to him to have peace in that home, or else it's not going to be funny. And let me say this to you, I just finished a meeting today, and a lady said her mother-in-law moved to the house, to her husband, to our husband's house, which is our son's house, and things were not just doing well. Things were bad. I mean, the thing she said, the woman will be the one cooking for her son. She'll be the one that is helping him to iron his clothes. He has done it for years. And the wife was becoming frustrated, packed out of the house. The husband did not say anything. Because if your mother-in-law notices that you are not speaking what speaks love to her, she's regretting you being in that home. She will encourage her son, if he's not godly, take it to the bank to have another woman. I don't talk as a religious person. I talk as I'm talking to everybody that dares to listen. If you open that door, what your husband loves, you love. If he loves a goat, love that goat with him. How do I do it? Study your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, and know what speaks love to her. Just check what speaks love to her. And the moment you know what speaks love to her, then you are good to go. On this live program, you will understand that whatever speaks love to her speaks peace, speaks sanity. If someone likes to do house chores, for instance, and you are not helping her, she does all the things, she does everything, and she has a son and you are the daughter-in-law, you will see that she will do it. But if you do it for her, you don't have to do it directly. Don't ever get me wrong. You can do it through another person, but it will still be on record that you are the one that did it. Now let's go back to another one. If what speaks love to her is quality time, she just wants you around. She wants her children around. She wants her daughter, son, her grandchildren around. She just wants everybody around. She feels happy. You give her energy. You give her vibes when she comes. When it comes to having her children with her, because what speaks love to her is quality time. Now, if you keep pulling yourself away, you want to pull your husband away, you want to pull her grandchildren away from her, honestly, it's going to be toxic, because she's not going to be happy with you. When are you coming? Come and play with me. Let's be together. That is what speaks love to her. Don't forget, we do what we speaks love to us, makes us feel loved when people show it to us. I'm talking about your in-laws. If her love, what speaks love to her is quality time. Let's be together. Let me have you together. The weekend you are coming like that, she's packing everything. Make time to go visit. Make time to go visit is extremely important. It shows that you love her. Oh, my daughter loves me. Now, my daughter-in-law love me. She cares for me. She doesn't want me. She comes around. Can't you see? They are coming. They are coming. She's everywhere, cooking, doing everything just to make the children and yourself comfortable. If you know and you notice that what speaks love to her is quality time, let's have a time together. Please don't deprive her of that. If you do, she's not going to be happy with you, and it's going to affect your relationship with your husband. Your husband can decide to go and stay with her for days, because she knows, or your father-in-law, it depends, would always go there and say, well, mom, I just said I should come and spend time with you. Or probably if your husband knows that you don't really value what she values what speaks love to her, what will happen is simple. He will go and stay there. She can go and stay there and just be there for a while, just to fill that emptiness and the vacuum. So if you have a mother-in-law that what speaks love to her is quality time, please make time. I've talked about house chores. If it's act of service, get someone to do chores for her. If it is quality time, let her know that you will create time for her. You can even travel to wherever he is or he is, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, just to play with them. You will see they will live long. You are adding life to them. It will not be toxic, because they know that out of your busy schedule, you still make time to go and see them. Now we are going to another one, which is touch. Some, what speaks love to them is touch. When you come to see such a mom, hug her, sit with her, to use your hand to rub her body, or just hug grandpa, do everything. Just make sure you are touching them. They feel love when you are touching them. Now, if you understand the dynamics of this what speaks love to people, this 5 that I'm talking about, honestly, you're going to have peace in that home, because when you are coming, she's also stretching her hands. She wants to hug you. What speaks love to her? And when there's this contact, the physical contact, in a way, honestly, the woman, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law feel, oh wow, this is my daughter. You can even put your head on her laps. That's touch. He knows. When you study that, please, before you go deep, if you are newly getting married, the moment you get into this understanding, practice it, you'll be shocked. That's why some people, when you are meeting your in-laws for the first time, and you can just randomly ask your fiancé, how is grandma? What does she like? Oh, my mother likes people buying things for her. Okay, my mother likes somebody doing things for her. You're just using wisdom to sample what speaks love to her. And when my mother, you have to sit beside her like this. Even when she's going, she will hold you and let's go out together. That speaks love to her, touch. Then another one is giving of gifts. Oh my goodness, my daughter bought this for me. He's talking about her daughter-in-law, son-in-law. Oh, my son-in-law just brought me this. She's happy, he's happy, he's all over the place. Wow, it's my son that gave me this phone. It's my son that did this for me. He's talking about his in-law. He will not call you an in-law again. He will not say so person's wife or so person's husband. What he's going to be saying is my son and my daughter. But why? Because you are doing something that speaks love to them. It's important. If it is giving of gifts, get a gift for her. It doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be expensive. Maybe you are doing your monthly shopping with onions, pepper, something, rice. Divide it into 4, 5 and just give to her. I say, Grandma, I just came to read. Even don't say, you will assume it's my son's money. Forget that one. It's you that came and brought it. You brought it for her. When you have seen fabric, how much do they sell clothes? 5,000, 3,000. Just buy for her, sew for her. Let her, just make sure that you are buying some costume earrings, get for her. Wristwatch, get for her. Just make sure she can look into your wardrobe. Don't tell me, I told you, this thing that speaks love is not only with your in-laws, your brother, your husband's junior sister, junior brother. All of them speaks love to them. And if you have that understanding, honestly, you are going to just be basking in rest and peace throughout your stay in that marriage. You won't have any stress. Do you know, if it's giving of gifts, you can also make sure that every month it's not the size. Now let me explain something to you. I've seen people that will tell me, my mother-in-law is very materialistic, my father-in-law is very no. If they are not materialistic, what means love to them is what I call giving of gifts. It's not the size, it's the heart. It's not the size, it's the heart. I've seen people that what speaks love to them is quality time, and you come and buy them Bentley, the best, or Mercedes. The person can ease and say, excuse me, keep your car, keep your Lexus, keep your Mercedes. I want you to be around. I want to be seeing you around. Because what speaks love to them is giving of gifts. I've talked about quality time. I've talked about physical touch. I've talked about act of service. I've talked about giving of gifts. I think I've finished it. Act of service, physical touch, words, I've said it, 5 speaks love to them. If you are able to handle all of this, honestly, you will have the best in-law in the whole world. You're not going to have issues with them. You're not going to have crises that would, you have known their personality. If you know somebody and you relate to that person with what you know, it gives you help. It settles you. You don't have to fight, and keep hitting your heads on each other, even with your in-laws. I'm not only talking about mother-in-law, father-in-law, even the younger ones, even the senior ones. Just have your peace. You need it. You can't do without them. Now, listen, let me now talk about boundaries. Boundaries is extremely important in dealing with our in-laws. Can I say this to mother-in-laws and father-in-laws? Please allow them to make their mistakes, as long as it's not going to be deadly or somebody's going to die. Let me quickly say this before coming to that. Can I just say this to everyone? You are married, you have your parents. Please stop dumping your children with them. Some of them they are getting to menopause. They are not finding it easy. They will nag your children, breed anger, breed violence in them because of their temper. Some young ladies in this generation, they are so lazy. You are rearing your children like a chicken, and you are dropping them with your mom, with your dad. Grandpa and grandma, they will take care of them. This generation is not the same. This generation is not the same. It's not the same. How I remember when I was being raised, my aunties would come home and say, sister mi eti bafunkeje, e bafunkeje. Ìgbà tí sister mi raised wa, that is my generation. They told my mom that she has spoiled me. Those are my aunties. They said it multiple times. Sister eti rogo, sister eti rogo. You know what I'm saying? Now imagine this generation. Now by the time my mom was raising her sisters, her siblings, she was very tough and strong on them. By the time she started raising her own, she was becoming weak. When you have your children, it's different from when you are raising somebody's kids anyway. Now that they are now raising, they are raising another one. that belongs to them, they might soft pedal. And soft pedaling might not be good for the children. It might be good. So what is important is let your children raise their children the way they want them rather. Let your kids, don't fight when they are doing things, when they are, as long as it's not abusive, don't get me wrong, because we need to be balanced here. But if your daughter or your son say, this is what I want for my son, for my daughter, can you just leave them? Do everything to allow them to raise their kids the way they want. Don't take offense when they want to keep their kids to themselves. Don't take offense when they want to set boundaries. There's no need for offense. This is how they want to raise their kids. If they choose to raise their kids that way and the child comes out well, it's their kudos, it's their honor. Please, we need to balance this. Because, you know, children are highly manipulative. Very, very. And when they notice that, okay, there's a softer place, a softer landing where they will not be disciplined or they will not be put to check, they might tilt to that side. And if your daughter or your son does not want stress, she doesn't want trouble, she doesn't want a fight, before you know it, she will just say, okay. But that will affect those children. So please, whatever it is, let them do what they like with their kids. No offense. Appreciate the fact that you have been privileged to raise them. Let them raise their own. Let it even be their pride and their joy to raise their kids the way they wanted it. Taking offense is not nice. Making your in-laws, your daughter-in-law, your son-in-law to walk on eggshell and be feeling as if something is wrong, it's not necessary. It is insecurity at your end to begin to feel bad when boundaries are going to be set. Even if the person decides to do it just to slight you, it's also a seed. Because you know why I'm saying this? Most in-laws have disturbed my life in the area of, oh, my daughter-in-law is this, my daughter-in-law is this, my son-in-law is this, my son-in-law is that. Excuse me, deal with yourself. She might, I've seen a guy that came to me recently and told me, I said, hey, I hope my mother-in-law is a witch. He's a man. He said the wife's mom is a witch. He was having dreams. Before they begin to look at you, I'll be having nightmares. You better withdraw and take care of your children. You've done your own. Let them do their own. Now, another thing is, when there is a conflict, please be matured enough to let it go. It's not everything you lay to heart or take to heart. If you are not careful, you keep taking it to heart, it's going to strain your relationship with her or him. Is, you know, mother-in-law or your father, if it's your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, it's going to strain you, and before you know it, it will affect your children. It will affect the way you are relating with your child. And if there's a need for peace meeting, make it. I don't know why people don't like to resolve conflict. Conflict resolution is part of life. To offend is part of life. The Bible even says that offense will come. Offense will come. And if you are not careful, if you don't know how to manage offense, it will take you off your end. Offense is a bait of Satan. I've seen people that are nurturing permanent sickness today because they could not let go. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself, not to the offender. Forgiveness is like cutting your, if you are living in unforgiveness, you are holding your umbilical cord to your past. It's not possible. You have to let go and let God. I hope I've made some points today. I hope the internet is working. If I've made some point, you can always, make some, let me have some signs that you are getting what I'm saying. If you have any question, please ask questions. Ask questions. I'm just going to allow these few minutes for questions. If you have any question, please write it down so that we can address it and get it addressed. Another thing I want to say, if you have a brother-in-law and a sister-in-law, I'm talking about the ones that are younger than you, are older than you, please respect, encourage them. If you're a man, you're hearing me, encourage them to respect your husband. The honor they have for you. Thank you for showing the love signs. Thank you. If you don't respect your in-laws, let me put it that way, you have a son, you have a brother-in-law, a junior brother, can you respect your brother's wife? The honor you will give to your brother, give it to his wife or her husband. It is wisdom to respect people that are married into your family, it shows that you are well trained. It shows that you are well nurtured. It shows that you are from a very good home. Now, it is not that some people are from a very good home and they choose not to behave well. It happens like that. You know, there's an adage that says that it's not every child that is not trained. Let me put it. I'll put it in my language, and I'll try and balance it. Abi kowa akogbawa. They raise some people. They don't train them. They didn't train them. They didn't nurture them. Some, they have trained them. They've done everything, and they decide not to obey. They just choose to do whatever they want to do. Life is basically still a choice. Now, when it comes to raising the children, please give all the information that is necessary as important to your children. If you have to nurture, maybe your son-in-law or your grandchildren comes to you and there's need for information, please disseminate that information to their parents. Your observation, say it to them, let them watch their back. They may not see some things, they may not know some things. You know, they are new in that terrain. But if the best thing you can do is to give advice and let them implement the advice. If they are not adhering or obeying or listening or taking your advice, no offense. No offense. Please, I want to encourage everyone this evening, no offense. Offense is a destroyer of relationship. Offense is toxic to your system. When you are living in offense, you cannot sleep, you are not having peace with yourself, you are not having peace with everything around you. You need as much peace as you need to have in your old age. And I have some sister-in-laws that are very rude and nasty. You know what? You are also sowing. I've said that before, and I will say it again and again and again. It's a seed. If you are hearing me, your husband, your brother's wife, your brother's husband, your sister's wife, your sister's husband, and the next thing is you are just treating them like a slave, as if they're house help. There's no honor, there's no dignity, there's no warmth. Don't do it. You will reap it. I've seen, there's a case they just told me now, because the daughter-in-law is not pregnant, the sister-in-law, okay, you know there are 5 women in the life of every man. The sister-in-law came home and packed the wife's stuff out of the husband's house. So are you sure when you are married you will have children? Yours may not be challenges on having children. It could be any other thing. You know, when God said after the flood, he said, I'm not going to use water to destroy the earth again. I just set a law in motion. Anything you sow, you reap. Anything you sow, you reap. If you paint a picture of a wicked in-law to your brother's wife or your brother's husband, you are reaping it. If you sow a bad seed to your children against your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, you are going to reap it. And you know what? People always forget that harvest is much more than the seed. Harvest is always much more than the seed. I remember several years ago, the way I related with my mother-in-law, my husband would say, it's not, my mother-in-law would say, it is not the one I married, it's funke, is you mobi. Because I treat her as my mom. She's not perfect, nobody is perfect, but I just know that this woman, and moreover, when you notice that a lot of things had happened to that woman, she has labored, she has suffered, can you just understand and treat her like a queen in the kingdom? Now, for your brother-in-law, for your sister-in-law, please treat them well. Don't push all the responsibility of your family to your in-law. I know there are times that, financially things may not be good, and at the end of the day, you just find out that, there are probably a little bit of pressure on your in-laws, husband. If you have to do it in honor. Don't do it as a poverty elevation in-law. If you do that, if God lifts their lives and they become what they are destined to become, guess what? It will be in their story. Whatever you do it as unto the Lord. Do it as if that seed only left your hand, is not living your life, is gone to your future to wait for you. Do I have questions here? I'm trying to check if you have people. Okay, is there any question? Please, if you have a question, let me know. Thank you. Thank you from Florida. Thank you from Florida. Thank you for watching. Do everything you're doing in the name of God. Don't do it because it's a privilege for you to have that opportunity, to do anything. Life is a privilege, it's not a right. So when you are doing anything for your in-laws, do it in the spirit of love, in the spirit of humility, in the spirit of care, and in the spirit of just being privileged. Don't let them feel bad that they are from a very poor background. Don't let them feel bad that they cannot afford certain things. Can I say something here? There's nobody in this world that his life or her life will not be better as long as you are breathing. As long as you are breathing. When things go better, when life becomes good, they will talk about what you did to them. They will talk about the good, how you send them to school, how you pay the bills. They will talk about how you told them you are not eating in my house, or you don't even give them food, or you don't pay their school fees. Whatever you do, it goes into somebody's record. I was asking myself, I'm still asking myself, the woman that tried to sleep with Joseph, the wife of his boss, Potiphar's wife, when there was famine in Egypt, you know what happened in Egypt? They had money, they didn't have something to buy. It's a different thing when there is no money. It's another different thing when there is no money. It's another situation where you have your cash and you don't have money you don't have what to buy. That was the situation in Egypt. You remember, they had money. When Joseph was in Egypt, preparing for them, his father, Jacob, came and told them, take money, put money in the bag, go and buy, because they have money. The money was useless. I just pray for our country that Nigeria will not be like that. That it's going to get really, really worse. That you have your substance, you have your money, and you're looking for what to buy. It's not our portion, but it happens in a day. And if it happens in a particular year, on record, it could happen anywhere. So let's do good. I don't know if she would have been sending somebody behind and say, go and get us corn. Let's go and buy food in Egypt, because that boy that I put to slavery, that boy that I lied against, is now the prime minister. You don't know what somebody will become in life. So please be on a very good note and records of people, because at the end of the day, you just find yourself trying to survive, and you don't even know. Let me share a story with you before I leave you today. A man proposed to a lady. He was in a Bible school. He didn't have anything. Probably just had like 2 shirts and maybe 1 torn jeans trousers. But he believes that he had a mandate. So he was in the Bible school, and he took a flower one day and proposed to a lady. And the lady looked at him from head to toe and said, you poverty-stricken man, who is going to marry a dead, dirty, filthy man like you? And the man, shamefully took his flower and went away. Several years later, the man went for a crusade somewhere with his private jet. And the protocol that came to welcome the man, when you pull on the seat, you forget, but the person that cleaned it will never forget. One of the protocols was this lady that refused his hand in marriage in the name of poverty. So as he lighted from his private jet, spotted the woman and told his wife, said, honey, that was a man, that was a woman that threw my flower back at me when I was in the Bible school. And the wife moved closer to the lady and said, thank you for dumping him for me. Thank you for making him to be available for me. Wow. The person I'm talking about is Billy Graham. The first person he proposed to. Billy Graham died sunk, buried mom. You know what God draws through that man. If you're a Christian, you will understand. Or you Google Billy Graham. That's a story. So rejection can only affect your feelings, not your future. Whatever you are privileged to do, don't ever let it get to your head. It's a privilege. And one thing I've discovered, If you don't do it, somebody else will do it. That's the beauty of life. If you think, I can't do it, I don't want to be involved, I can't trust them, somebody else will do it. But I'm always happy, excited to be part of somebody's success story. As long as it lies in my capacity, I will do it. I want to appreciate everyone this evening. It's been, to me, except, you are hearing it in another form, it's been educative, it's been insightful, and I know that a word has come that will change your world if you keep listening, keep obeying, keep responding to this. I'm going to bring another topic next week, Wednesday. We're going to handle it. Tomorrow, don't forget, we are still talking about sex-wise parenting. The sex-wise parents. Make sure you invite others to watch. Same time tomorrow, I'll come your way. Appreciate you so dearly for listening to me. My name is funkeadetuberu. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, for another powerful, wonderful topic. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.